Well, good morning, my difference-making friends. I am here to share a little gardening tips with you. And I wanted to share some more out of John Maxwell's Winning with People. And today it is the gardening principle. And so with this poem, I'll share with you first. In every area of our lives, we will reap what we sow. Our minds and our hearts are like fertile fields, just waiting to grow. A seed is anything valuable that we dare give away. What are you giving that might make a difference on this very day? Anything growing comes from a seed that we've planted. The law of the seed and the harvest, we can't take that for granted. Plant seeds of hope, good cheer, abundance, and plant seeds of love. Soon you'll find the blessings of heaven from our God up above. And like I said, the gardening principle, all relationships need cultivation. Friendship is like money, easier made than kept. That's from a quote from Samuel Butler. The question I must ask myself, do I occasionally or continually cultivate my relationships? And for me, that question is, I think that I'm pretty good with cultivating relationships. I think that I'm anxious to God to lead me to new relationships, and I'm always wanting to be a we person instead of a me person, and I'm looking for my we. I long for a tribe that'll just make a bigger difference in this world. So if you want to join me on that journey or have me join your journey, I would love to hear from you. Contact me, send me a smoke signal, give me a call. But I'm doing some stuff that I'm excited about, and I just want to make more of a difference in my life. So, and I definitely want to cultivate deeper and more meaningful relationships. So, with that being said, he goes through. He talks about Mitchell Albom. Mitchell Albom wrote a book called Tuesdays with Maury, and he talks about one of his mentors with that. And then Albom goes through to talk about his uncle Eddie, who passed away, and he did not take the time to tell his uncle Eddie what that he had meant to him in his life. And so don't wait too long to tell the ones that you care about that they mean what they mean to you. How does your garden grow? You cannot neglect a relationship and expect it to grow. That's not to say all relationships are the same and need the same amount of time and attention. The nature and purpose of relationship will determine the energy and time needed to cultivate it. Think about some of the many personal and professional relationships that you have in your life today. How much effort do you give them? Do you treat them the same? Of course not. And you shouldn't. Every relationship is different, and we can fit them into 3 categories. Some people come to our lives for a reason. Many relationships are very short and occur for very specific reasons. And he goes in to talk about his doctor whenever he had a heart attack. Some people will come into our lives for a season, and the second type of relationship lasts only for a period of time. These relationships are a few weeks or several years. Many times they are related to our current circumstances, like a job or something like that. And then some people come into our lives for a lifetime. The third kind of relationship is ongoing and permanent. These are few and very special. If we want to keep them healthy and encourage them to grow, we must give them continual cultivation. Otherwise, they're likely to shrivel and die. And he goes through and talks about some stuff. Married men, and some of them are give men a black eye, and some of them give women a black eye. But he talks a lot about relationships. He gives a quote from Socrates: "By all means, marry. If you get a good wife, you'll become happy. If you get a bad one, you'll become a philosopher." And these are all aspects of cultivation. Marriage partners who don't intentionally cultivate a close relationship will drift apart. It's sad, but after 5 years of marriage, all couples have in common is their wedding day. Some marriages may be made in heaven, but their maintenance must be done on earth. And if we're going to have good relationships, they're going to take maintenance. Just like if anything else that we want. If we want our car to last a long time, it needs maintenance. If we want our relationships to be ongoing, we got to go in and pull the weeds and do what we got to do to let them grow. Ways to keep cultivating an important relationship. What does it mean to cultivate a relationship? Whether it's as a spouse, a parent, or a friend, we can start a healthy, growing relationship by focusing on the following 6 items. Commitment, communication, and that's one that where I struggle. I've always struggled. Well, I'm not saying that I'm becoming a better communicator, and usually whenever it comes to saying how my day was, I would say good, and then just leave it alone. And that's no way to let my wife into my life. So I'm working on that one. Friendship. If a man does not make new acquaintances, he advances through life. He will soon find himself left alone. And a man should keep his friendships in constant repair. Memories. We got to do, if you're going to have a relationship, let's get together and do some stuff and make some memories together. And he does a quote from Thomas Paine: "What we obtain too cheaply, we esteem too little. It is dearness only that gives everything its value." So take some time to make memories, because we aren't guaranteed of tomorrow. Growth. And if we get growing together, we then can stay together. And then spoiling each other. And that hasn't always been an easy one in my life, to hand out compliments to others. And I've made a lot of headway in that department. To be the good finder, to look for what you've done good today and hand you that compliment. And I'd like to think that I've gotten better. Maybe my kids would say differently, but I'd like to think that I try to find something that my kids are doing good every day, and then remark on that, instead of just being the bad finder, which I can be that too. And he ends it with Nancy Reagan, wife of the late former President Ronald Reagan, said, "I am a big believer that you have to nourish any relationship. I am still very much a part of my friends' lives, and they are much a part of my life. A first lady who does not have this source of strength and comfort can lose perspective and become isolated." That's true not only of people in the public's eye, it's true for all of us. The friendships we develop with others enrich the quality of our lives, but we cannot sustain them if we don't cultivate them. That's why it's important for us to practice the gardening principle. And like I said, that's from John Maxwell. I think he's a great teacher, if you look, I think he's like number 1 on the leadership gurus to follow in Inc. magazine. And he does have a lot of information out if you look for him on YouTube, or he has like a bazillion books out, and a lot of my poems you can hear reflecting what he talks about. And I will leave you with this, and I know this is running long. So I was recently at a workshop with a guy named Peter, and he had a New York accent. He did some great teaching, I thought, and but he said the word gardening, and I thought that I heard it as gardening, and I think that whenever we're thinking about doing our transformation, we need to do a little gardening, and I want that to be my word that I contribute to the dictionary. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But gardening, I clear my mind. I forgive, I forget. I'm letting go of all I regret. The spiritual plane, the divine fertile field. It's in unknowing we reap, and in knowing we yield. I am a slate that is needing wiped clean, my vision all clouded by all that I've seen. It's in meditation that we can start to unwind our burdens of the past. They've been keeping us blind. I am a garden that needs gardening. I pray my prayers wondering what they will bring. Oh my gosh, I can't get down to the end. I pray my prayers wondering. Oh, Lord, clear our minds and renew our soul. Take these expectations and give back the peace that they've stole. I ask for serenity, a gift that's God granted. I am your garden. I pray that your seeds of hope would be planted. Lord, clear our minds and help us to forget and to forgive. It's in our garden gardening that we're reborn and we live. I pray you an awesome day.